Yeah, so we're using that screen. We're just planting raspberries, a new place for them, and just to keep the deers out. We use that old frame and we're in the midst of digging potatoes. And that's a Thai berry over that you see there. And this is my little workstation. Things get planted and flower arrangements made and so on. And this is a beautiful bay leaf in there that I just trimmed yesterday, but it's nice to have your own bay leaves. This is my special little corner for having chocolate wine with my friend.
Nice.
And on top of this, here we have black berries with no thorns. There is still some here so that you can see how big they really are. They've just been plenty again, like everything else in the garden this year. There is some beautiful blackberries in there. Wine. Coming to the end of the tomatoes. And the cucumbers are doing their things. Beets for the winter and the kale. There's some good ones in here still, so I can see some canning coming up. And right behind you is my winter vegetables here on the north side for the sun at this time of year, and then they get to the south side on the patio in the winter. Hydrangea. We have our water fertilizer in here, always ready for the watering cans. And dahlias. You can eat dahlias actually. So when people came over on the Mayflower, they had dahlia tubers and not potatoes because they lasted longer. That's what they ate. And Reg's little patch for his cream that he makes. berries that I keep trimming so they're not taking space. I'm letting the fennel grow. As you can see, the bees just loves them. They're just humming around. And this is our horseradish. And the asparagus were plenty as well. I thought we were going to turn green in the spring.
Can you tell us about the apples there, Eva?
Yeah, the apples, I really like to keep the tree like that. Then I can have an apple tree here without shading the garden. This one over here, it's taking a rest this year. It's normally just as plentiful, but it's year for resting. But this year, this one's really bearing lovely. So, and having the net over the carrots really keeps those little bugs away. No worms or carrots. It's worth the while to do that. And we have some potato plants here as well. Easy to find them and dig them up. And this grape here, again, it is so plentiful. And this is my little meditation corner. So for my time alone, quiet, out in the garden. These are the old raspberries. They're done for this year, so we're just waiting for the second crop. The second crop will come here in September. And this here is a beautiful jasmine. It is just a sea of white with the scent is just so beautiful in the early summer. There is one little one left here. And the blueberries are pretty much finished. And more tomatoes. And this is my second go around of peas. I already had some that were way up to here, and we harvest those. I ate most of them right here on the spot. But so this is the second planting. So this down here is the composting. We're using a lot of horse manure. So this is where it all gets mixed up. So it's a little messy, but a garden has to have a place like that. And then just composting. We have the black one, and we're also using that old garbage can as a compost. And that sea of mauve purple there, that is a sea breeze. That is a form of a baby's breath. it will eventually turn white, but it's just beautiful this time of year. And this is the herb garden. This here has a beautiful pineapple scent to it.
Don't want to miss that one.
So we have a whole bed of squashes here. We're going to be more careful this year when we store them for the winter. We lost some last winter, and there's a trick to it. You leave so much of the stem on and you clean them, so I really have to study that again so that we can keep them. These are spaghetti squash, which is our favorite squash after the zucchinis, of course, but we just cut them in half and use it for our chili and stuff like that. Eat right out of it. And we have more beads here. And this will be my winter crop. I will go out here in the winter and get my beads. And that big show and tell you can see there, that red and yellow, that's called show and tell. It is actually what they call a dinner plate. It is Reg's pride and joy, his show. Pond with some goldfish in it. Hot tub behind you there, and I like my indoor sucker ones. They are very easy to take care of, and you just stick them in the greenhouse over winter. In the house they grow through fall, and they don't look nice. It's too hot for them. I just created my window box here. Oh, I put that sign up because I'm going to put some stuff out. And here is with my sprouting, and to start to do some more sprouting, and also that I always cut the bottom off my celery when I get it home. I cut it really thin sliver off so that the water can soak up, and then I cut it, stick it in a little jar of water, and growing a celery. You can do that with many things. You can do it with carrot tops as well. They don't grow carrots, but the tops you can eat. There's a lot of vitamin K in them. So, and it's fun to see them growing in your kitchen window. So, I used to live in Nova Scotia, so this is my PEI corner. They're actually shells and stones, and there's some sand there from PEI. Just reminding me on my maritime days when I lived. And here we have the tower garden. Just grows everything in water. There's a pump in there, pumps it up every 15 minutes. And so you just fill the tank and fertilizer, and in the winter it goes in the house. I have it right in the kitchen. It has lights on it, and then I have fresh greens like this all winter long. And this is the first year that I have actually seen some passion fruit on here. So that's fun. It's actually very light. And here's our, what I call it, the trumpet plant. It obviously have like a really a real name, but it's actually scented. It has a scent to it. But aren't they just beautiful? And you can tell there's just going to be so many blooming. And this guy here was in the greenhouse, and it bloomed all winter. I was worried that it would run itself tired and not perform in the summer, but boy, there he is. Overwintered, beautiful. Yeah. So this is our little hangout. It's nibbling on some grapes from the garden. Isn't that beautiful?
What are these, Eva?
It's rose something, and sorry, I can't remember the proper name for them. And for some reason, I have an attachment to old pots. These are original pots that people would do their pickling in. My grandma had them in the basement, so they mean a lot to me. I don't know, I'm just so attracted to that kind. And back here, here's another water barrel, a rain barrel. We have 4 of them all together. We have one spout that doesn't have one on it, and we're working on that. It's just not the right space, but we're working on it. So this is our south side. So I'll have a lot of my winter stuff here. And another end of a tomato plant, more tomato plant. Reg put in our Brussels sprout. So they will sit here all winter, and then in the spring they will come and give us beautiful Brussels sprouts. The leeks are in. And this is also set up so that we can cover it with plastic, just put it to the wall and then have plastic so it's a little sheltered in the winter. And I had another batch of peas growing here. Just awesome. That's just an old shelving that we're using for that tomato there, and just use what you have on hand. This is the greenhouse. He still hasn't cleaned up from his garlic, it's a little messy. He had about, I would say, 150, close to 200 garlic planted right over where the raspberries are now. So that is really good. Right now, what you see at the end, that is the sweet peas. They're just drying, and then we'll collect the seeds for next year. But we have pepper and a lot of basil. This is a good spot for the basil to go with the tomatoes. So we have tomato basil sauce for all winter. Yeah, so this is where Reg hangs out. And then every garden has to have a place for pots. And you're welcome to walk up here. That's just little pots, and like every garden will have a place for pots and stuff like that. And a little colorful pots as well. I'm trying to get away from pots because of the watering in the summer, but I love pots. Now we're back to the front. A lot of outdoor succulents. I really enjoy creating the pots with all the succulents, and again they're so easy to look after, although this summer you did have to water them a lot more than we usually have had to. And in the window box I have fake flowers because I just can't keep watering. This is right on the south, and I don't know how much money I've spent on buying plants for there, and they just wilter. There's the bay leaves over there that I just cut down, so I put them out here for people can help themselves, because bay leaves are not cheap to buy in the store, so people can just help themselves to some bay leaves. And our banana tree, it's sitting in that container because it's going to go behind the pond. It's just the dahlias are there right now, and we were gifted this beautiful tree. And I did hang some bananas on it for the two little girls I have across the street. The little one, she bought it and she said, no, don't pick it yet, they're still green. And her sister said, you hung them there. So anyway, I have so much fun with those girls. And that's why you'll see fairy gardens here and there in my garden, because they come over and they built a fairy garden.